Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
What's going on, Maria?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. So I purchased a home from a meth addict, and I'm now $33,000 in debt because I had to do remediations on the home after I closed. And I'm just curious how I should best pay this off and salvage my credit. I did receive a settlement from the owner after discovering this problem, but I still have probably $80K in repairs to make to the home. And so I'm just curious how I can pay it down and salvage my credit.
So how much total debt do you have outside of a mortgage?
The $33,000. I don't have any other debt outside of my mortgage.
How many cards is that across?
Across 3 cards.
How much money are you bringing in every month?
I'm bringing in about probably $5,500.
$5,500, and then what portion of that is your mortgage payment?
$2,800.
Yipes! All right, we got troubles. So tell me a little bit more about this. Did you call it a remediation?
Yeah, so they had to rip out the kitchen, all the doors, all the lighting, anything porous, anything wood.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically bought the home, and then they stripped it. I found out 2 days after closing that
Did none of this come up in the inspection?
A drug problem.
That's my question.
No. Yeah, none of it came up in the inspection.
So how did it come up?
I received a police report that I had requested 2 days after closing. I had received every other police report, and they had some police activity at this property because I did my due diligence and I looked through it.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't receive the one report that had the previous owner handing over the meth to the police at her home saying she had a problem until 2 days after closing. I don't know what happened to that one report that held it up, but every other report was about a dog or about...
So she was cooking meth in the house?
No, not cooking, just doing meth. Even at that level, you still have to remediate.
Oh, my goodness. And you said there's still $80,000 of repairs. Is this related to that? Or this is just other repairs that you were planning on doing?
Related. They stripped the home after I purchased it. And so I couldn't really go back and I couldn't undo the loan. Essentially, I sued her and I got, thankfully I got about $60,000 back. But still, there's
what happened
to that?
amount of debt.
Yeah, what happened to that $60K?
So I have that, and that's my question is, how do I pay down, do I pay it all in one lump sum? Because I'm just worried that if I pay off my debt in one lump sum, it's going to crash my credit more.
I would not be conservative with your credit right now.
Me neither.
You got bigger problems and bigger fish to fry. I would knock out all the credit card debt today. The rest becomes your emergency fund, and then we cash flow the rest of the repairs.
Okay. And so just make the rest of the repairs as
on cash.
As you're able to.
On cash?
Yeah.
Okay.
But leave 3 to 6 months of expenses in there for actual emergencies, which is not known repairs.
Okay.
Because we want to avoid you going further into debt. I don't know why you're concerned about the credit at this point. You're not going to go take out more debt, are you?
No, but it just.
You've got a home. You're going to make a mortgage payment every single month. You're going to be just fine.
The credit score will settle itself.
Yeah, and you're not planning on taking out more credit. So.
No. Okay. You're right.
That's the only point of having a good credit score is so that you can access more debt.
Yeah. Well, I do want to. I was planning to start buying other homes and
No. We're done buying homes right now. We need to focus on our problems today, and we can become real estate moguls down the line when you have a paid-for property and money in the bank to pay cash.
Well, here's the thing, Maria. We're not, and hear us when we say we're not intentionally trying to tank your credit. However, George and I both know that when you set down the path of paying off debt, you're also simultaneously saying, not only am I paying off this debt, but I'm not going to borrow money in the future. Otherwise, what's the point of paying off debt? Just so you can get more and pay it off again? That doesn't really make sense. So there's kind of this assumption that if you're paying off your debt, if you're working this hard to do that, if you're taking this lump sum and you're being diligent in that way, you kind of have to think about the future and go, okay, well, if I've done all this work, then in the future, I'm going to pay cash the same way you're going to pay cash for these other remediations that have to take place. In the same way, you know, in the future, if you do choose to buy real estate, you'll save up and pay cash for it. Even though that sounds like a mountain load of cash, it's just good to kind of draw that line in the sand.
Okay, well, great. Then that makes my solution easy. Just pay it down and work with the remaining cash.
Well, I'm equally as worried, Maria, about this mortgage. It is 51% of your take-home pay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have 2 roommates.
Okay.
So I'm not paying it all myself, no.
But... Go ahead, George.
Well, there's a lot going on here now with the roommate situation.
Yeah, are they chipping in? Yeah, I want to know. Can we have some clarity? So you own the house. Are they chipping in at all for any of the repairs? Tell us more.
You're the landlord, so it's on you.
Oh, I guess
legally.
That's true.
But are you increasing the rent to help cover some of this, or what's the deal there?
No, rent is staying the same with them. They are helping with the repairs, like by, you know, helping come in and actually do the repairs. So their time, they're paying me with their time.
Right. And that's fine.
And so that's been helpful. And then also my mortgage lender offered 2 years free refinancing. So hopefully if all goes well, you know, not predicting the future, but if all goes well, I'll be able to refinance.
So if the rates drop, they're saying we were not going to charge you to refinance.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. The only thing that makes me worried about this situation is when people own homes, but they can't afford the rent on their own, so they have roommates. I always like a situation where you can float the rent on your own and you can do the mortgage on your own. You don't need the roommates for it to, you know, in order for it to not be dangerous for you. And I don't like the fact that this would be dangerous for you if something happened with the roommates. That's my only red flag on this.
Well, I can definitely float the rent myself. So what I told you, the mortgage, I guess I should clarify, that also includes utilities, insurance, all of the things bundled. I have no car debt. I have no other debt.
Okay.
My monthly expenses include my cell phone, and that's more or less it outside of food. So I can definitely float the rent on my own.
Well, I'd focus on just knocking out this credit card debt today, cut up the cards, don't look back, use the rest of the emergency fund, and cash flow the rest of these repairs. Do not go into debt ever again. And I'm sorry you're going through this.
That's crazy.
Goodness gracious. These inspectors.
Crazy.
Should I just go become an inspector and be like, looks good, guys?
I don't understand how that was missed. Wow.
Whew.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.